angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone, our ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Wow. So, as you know, I put out the lighting system for the Blackout bike. That video I put out today. Again, with that camera that we had recently purchased. Sorry for the video. And I'm not speaking about the shakiness of the video, although that's part of it too. That particular model doesn't have anti-shake at all. I tried to smooth it out with my editing software, and I could only apply the anti-shake on the very beginning, which was the absolute worst, because otherwise it just had a real weird effect when I tried to move the camera to show you the other stuff. Kind of weird, but I guess anti-shake in software anyway is for if you're trying to take a still video of something. So anyway, hopefully I can get that rectified within the next couple of months and get a decent camera. So anyway, I got that out today. Trying to think of any more news that's Watchman newsworthy. I'm hoping we make a good relationship with that Absolute Kratom company and possibly be able to get something worked out to where it won't be offered on the Watchman News, but it'll be offered on the PrepperNurse1.com website. So hopefully we can strike up a decent deal, acceptable deal with that company. I'm looking forward to it. That would be an awesome product to be able to get involved with, along with CBD oils. So working on it, but it's a matter of finding distributors and not companies that are just looking for affiliates. There's a big difference in the two, very big difference in the two. Not only, of course, the profit margin, which is, important, of course, but it's just one of those things to where it's one thing like with our Amazon link, okay? You guys click on the Amazon link, you go about your business, you shop on Amazon. Amazon takes care of everything, but that's an affiliate, okay? And we barely get anything out of that sale, which is fine. I'm not complaining. But we're looking as far as PrepperNurse1.com to be a reseller, which is a much different setup, okay? In other words, I would put the products directly on the PrepperNurse1.com website. People would order from the website, directly from the website. Ed, PrepperNurse1, he would be placing the order with the company. It would be shipped to the customer. It's a totally different deal. And I told PrepperNurse1 today on the phone that I'm even up for, if he wants to do like a wholesale thing. I have no problem as long as it's a product that don't take up a bunch of space, because we don't have a bunch of space. But if it's a product that doesn't take up a bunch of space, I have no problem distributing that, sending out the packages and stuff like that. Not a big issue. So I guess that's Watchman newsworthy. Trying to think of, it seems like there was something else that was somewhat big. I can't remember. As far as Amazon, wow, somebody, I guess, yesterday or the day before signed up for the free trial of Audible. Apparently, we get, they throw us a bone for that. So I guess one person signed up. Again, I can't see who, but one person signed up for the free trial of Audible, and they threw $5 our way in our, well, they call it fees, but I would call it revenue. From Amazon. So that is like incredible. So if you want to check out like Amazon Prime or Audible or Kindle or anything like that, please use our links. You don't even have to keep, you can get the 30-day free trial and cancel. It's still going to throw a little bit our way. So that's awesome, and thank you to whoever did that. Let's see. Trying to think. I do have a discussion that I'm going to talk about today. I know Prepper Nurse 1 talked about the subject. I have not watched his video yet. but I have information that I have gathered from throughout the day involving the same subject, and so it's what I'm going to talk about, not because he did, but because it is important to get the truth out there. So, because I'll tell you what, and I'm speaking about Venezuela, I am seeing an overwhelming amount of people blame mismanagement and socialism as the cause for the blackouts. Sorry, not it. You can't tell me, and this falls under the common sense category. You can't tell me that a country can go along for X amount of years just fine, not have any problems with their power grid, and then all of a sudden it goes down, they get it repaired, they get hit with a cyber attack, it goes down again, okay? And ever since, they have not been able to keep it going. They've had problem after problem after problem. This is not an infrastructure issue, okay? This is something that is important that we as Americans get on top of, okay, and not buy the propaganda. And the reason why is because if we are attacking other countries in this manner, it's only a matter of time before we are attacked in the same manner. That's not good news. That's not good news. Because let me tell you something. Our grid is just as vulnerable. Our grid is just as outdated. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's actually, well, you'll see in the content, because I've actually pulled up several articles to be able to go over with you about this, to shed some light on the truth. Okay? This is what's important. The truth is what's important, not feelings. Okay? Yeah, I would love to be able to say, yeah, America's number one. They're the, anybody would that lives here, right? Well, most anybody. But we have to look at reality. We have to look at the truth. And the more we do this type of thing in different places around the world, the more of a danger that we face. Okay, I shared out an article, something to the effect of how we've worked out a deal with the Taliban. Really? So we went from the Reagan administration, okay, which was, we don't negotiate with terrorists, and I would say Reagan pretty well proved that we didn't negotiate with terrorists. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, okay? So now we are directly negotiating with terrorists, right? The Trump administration is directly negotiating with terrorists. That's a fact. It's a fact. It's all over the news. I don't care whether you want to find it on Fox News, RT, Sputnik, CNN. I don't care what outlet you want to. It's a fact. We are directly negotiating with terrorists. Like the Taliban terrorists. Not like made-up terrorists like North Korea. Actual, real-deal terrorists. We're negotiating with them. Absolutely mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. So anyway, that's not the subject of my discussion. Venezuela is, so let's kind of move that direction after I have a sip of coffee. I'm actually on my second cup already. Alrighty, well, normally I'm just starting my second cup at the beginning of the show, but I've had this one for a little bit. Okay, Venezuelan top prosecutor seeks to probe Guaido over sabotaging electric system. And even though the headline seems a little funny, I don't think they're talking about like proctology or anything. It is what it is. Anyway, the blackout has been ongoing in Venezuela for almost a week following an incident at a major hydroelectric power plant, GURI, which national electricity supplier Corpelec called sabotage. President Nicolas Maduro blamed the incident on Washington, citing U.S. threats to apply all means against Venezuela. Okay, so, and I'm not going to read every bit of every article because it's really not necessary. You get the idea here, right? They're actually going to be launching an investigation, which I'm sure that's common sense, right? So, but it does get crazy. Maduro says 2 perpetrators of power grid sabotage captured. things are going to get real sticky real fast. And I'm going to show you that. Okay? Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has said 2 would-be saboteurs have been caught in flagrante delicto, which I'm probably butchering really, really bad. I do believe that's something to the effect of been caught red-handed, trying to take down the communication system of the Guri hydroelectric dam. Investigation into who sent them is underway. Now, this, I'm telling you, give me a moment. Authorities reportedly apprehended the 2 material perpetrators of the vandalism in the midst of interfering with the dam's communication systems on Monday, averting a serious catastrophe, and have turned them over to the courts. They are now looking for the intellectual authors of the sabotage, and Maduro has blamed the U.S. for the sustained technological attack on Venezuela's electrical system, which began last week. Okay? So, apparently they caught somebody right there trying to damage the communication systems. Okay? Let's see. After a failure at the Guri Dam left much of the country in the dark on Thursday night, authorities worked round the clock to fix the problem, managing to restore nearly 70% of the electrical system before a cyber attack knocked it out again on Saturday afternoon. Maduro said, adding that one of the generators had been working perfectly and could only have been sabotaged by an infiltrator. The Guri hydroelectric plant produces 80% of Venezuela's power, while stressing that the Venezuelan state has to act to hold those to blame for the electrical criminal coup responsible. Maduro praised the effort and behavior of Venezuelans who have remained at peace despite the prolonged blackout. He denounced the sabotage as a serious violation of human rights. While some of the country's power has been restored, Maduro has suspended school and business activities for Tuesday as much of the nation remains in darkness. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who has relentlessly pushing for Maduro's ouster for months, along with the rest of the Trump administration, claim the outages are due to years and years of neglect, due to the mismanagement and greed of Maduro's government. He denied U.S. responsibility for the blackout while proclaiming that the U.S. is interested only in the welfare of the Venezuelan people. Now see, if you know anything about how the United States are, if you know anything about all the civilian casualties in the Middle East, okay, if you know anything about how the United States operates in countries it wants to topple, think about that statement. Think about what is said there, that we're only interested in the welfare of the Venezuelan people. I mean, to me, that speaks volumes. Him making that statement right there speaks volumes just in itself. Just in itself. This is coming from an administration that wants to boast about America first. Okay? Interesting. Now on to the next bit, which I will call evidence of what I'm saying to be correct. U.S. withdrawing all remaining diplomatic personnel from Venezuela. We're pulling out. Pulling out. After, mind you, the 2 people were caught red-handed. Now we're pulling out. Interesting. U.S. State Department announced it is withdrawing all remaining diplomatic personnel from Venezuela, citing the deteriorating situation and referring to the presence of U.S. staff at the embassy as a constraint on U.S. policy. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced the withdrawal on Monday, while most U.S. staff stationed in Caracas had already been withdrawn in January following the U.S.-backed opposition leader Juan Guaido's attempt to declare himself president. A select few remained in defiance of the President Nicolas Maduro's order to American diplomats to leave the country. Earlier on Monday, Maduro announced authorities had captured 2 saboteurs in the act of compromising the communication systems of the Guri Dam, which supplies most of Venezuela's power. He blamed the U.S. for the sabotage, calling the electrical criminal coup a serious violation of human rights. Folks, people died. People are dying there. Okay? Infants, you know, the red team, the ones that say they're pro-life and all that stuff, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, it is unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. So the next article is pretty much, actually it was supposed to be this one, is pretty much the same. Final countdown, U.S. diplomats given 72 hours to pull out of Venezuela. So even Venezuela is saying, look, you're out in 72 hours. They're not playing any games this time. And the United States knows it. The United States knows it. They have made so many attempts now to oust Maduro and set up their puppet government. Okay, and they have failed every single time, including this time with this electrical outage. They're failing. And I think it's a great thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. I really do. I'm tired of seeing the United States steamroll over these countries because of banking interests, global banking interests, because of natural resources. It's time we stop. We've got a lot of problems in our own borders that we need to take care of, including the wall, right? Including the wall and immigration, right? But we also need to take better care of our veterans. We need to take better care of our information and technology. You know, they're talking about Venezuela's neglected infrastructure. Look at our infrastructure. Look at our bridge systems across the country. Okay, but we're so busy going and fighting wars over in the Middle East, right, that we're not spending the money needed. Look at Flint, Michigan. What about Flint and their water problem? And that's just one city. Okay, are you aware that much of the country is experiencing the same type of issues and worse as Flint? I showed a map some time ago where we're talking about the different levels of the different stuff in the water, lead and other things in the water across the country. And Flint's far from even being the worst. And nothing's being done about it. But we're going to down other countries while we totally ignore and neglect what's happening in our yard? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All I want is a better country. I don't want to be somebody that just sits there and bitches and moans. Okay, that's not. I don't want that. I would rather not have anything to bitch and moan about. You know, but it's not going to be fixed if we ignore it, right? All it takes for evil, not you evil, but you know, evil. All it takes for evil to keep going is for good people, and I know I'm paraphrasing here, for good people to stand silently by. That's all it takes. I'm not going to be one of those silent people. I am not. You better black bag and gitmo me. You better shoot me in the head. I am not going to be silent, and I am not going to be complacent. Not going to happen. Not from me. I am God's servant, not man's. Anyway, this is another issue as a result of that. Blackout shuts down Venezuela's oil exports. So there you go. I mean, they were already being sanctioned so bad that they weren't hardly even selling any oil. They've got tons of oil setting out in the ports, okay, with nowhere to go with it because of all the sanctions. And not necessarily the sanctions directly on Venezuela, but the sanctions that would happen to the other countries if they did business with them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These countries are getting tired of it. These countries are going to start fighting back, and they damn well got a right to. And like I said, these bigger countries like Russia and China, they're going to make damn sure that that war is fought over here at least as well as over there. Guaranteed. They're on to that game. They're on to that game. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Venezuela. I was trying to run through it as quick as I could. I could go on and on and on about it. But I think I've laid out enough just then for people to maybe see a little bit of light here as to what's really going on in Venezuela. So we'll see. 2 people captured, investigation ongoing. I'm looking forward to see what's found out from that. No, I don't just take anything that Maduro or anything like that. I don't just take what they say is truth and anything the U.S. says is false. Okay? That's not how this works. It's not how this works. I look at all the sides and use common sense, right? Eyes to see and ears to hear. And it's pretty obvious if you do that. Pretty obvious. But I'm telling you, get prepared. Get ready. Get ready for the same thing to happen here. I bet we see it. I bet we see it. Again, these other countries are getting tired of this, and the whole cyber thing is something that any little country could do, given the right people. So something to think about, something to keep in mind. Okay, let me run through the headlines real quick, and we'll get the monologue over with, and we'll get on with the rest of the show. Impeachment not worth it, says Pelosi as she positions Dems for post-Mueller Trump slump. Interesting, huh? Isn't that interesting? One bird, two wings. Okay? One bird, two wings. And if you forget that, you'll never see what's really going on. Aeromexico joins growing list of airlines to ground Boeing 737 MAX jets after deadly crash. And there's going to be a lot of news articles about that. I covered a lot of the stuff already for that monologue, the headline part here at the beginning of the monologue. So, Boeing pledges to roll out software upgrade for 737 MAX in coming weeks after FAA push. Pressured chemical watchdog afraid to contradict U.S. on Duma chemical incident, says a Russian envoy. Find that kind of interesting, too, considering all the stuff that I've covered when it comes to that particular chemical attack. Australia bans Boeing 737 MAX 8 flights following a second deadly crash. A violation of what? Users puzzled by Facebook's ban on sharing Zero Hedges links. Facebook at it again. Absolutely insane censorship. U.S. and Taliban make meaningful progress in talks, says the State Department. Our State Department. This is what I was talking about. Our State Department. This is not something that's being said that the U.S. is denying. No, our State Department is saying that the United States and terrorists are making meaningful progress in talks. Now, if you think that's how the U.S. is supposed to operate, maybe you need to go back and look at the Reagan years and see how Reagan dealt with this. China continues boosting gold reserves as part of its anti-dollar push. From scaremongering to direct threats, U.S. intel may be denied to countries that buy Chinese 5G. Right? They're doing everything they can to destroy them. Russia shows off upgraded world's most powerful rocket engine meant for Soyuz 5. And once again, I just want to point out, we're busy fighting wars and killing people while other countries are advancing technologically. Absolutely mind-blowing. Google's Vice President Singhal left with $45 million golden parachute despite sexual misconduct case. You know, this is unbelievable, folks. This is unbelievable. I mean, how would you like to, have to leave a position for something like sexual misconduct and be able to get a $45 million check? Trouble Boeing 737 MAX 8 planes banned from UK airspace. Oh, we're not done yet. Europe bans Boeing 737 MAX. Planes grounded, diverted as nations shut airspace over Ethiopia crash. I mean, there's countries are just saying, hell no, get it out of our skies. As U.S. officials repeatedly caught out over Venezuela lies, Pompeo accuses RT of disinformation. I mean, and that's the whole big push with RT to be listed as a, what is it? I can't remember the term. A foreign agent, I think is the actual term. Gotta love this story. Loyal sheepdog tries to hunt down truck transporting his flock to the slaughterhouse. That is incredible. Did a hell of a job there, Pupper. That's wild. Apparently he was chasing the truck down the highway, trying to get his flock back. Get the flock back! Let's see. No vaccine, no school. Italy starts punishing parents who refuse to immunize their kids. Coming here. It already has been happening here. Trump derangement syndrome is now fastest growing disorder in America. Are you a sufferer? And as I posted this on my personal Facebook earlier, and as I've been saying, there are two parts to Trump derangement syndrome. You have the liberals that their heads explode just from seeing a MAGA hat, right? But you also have the ones that will sit there and claim that Trump was sent by God, okay? And that and look at Trump as if he's a god himself, right? I think the old Trump derangement syndrome goes both ways. He's a man, period. He's a man. And I think when it's all said and done with, people are going to realize maybe he wasn't as great as what he was put out to be. Okay? Still don't have a wall. Hillary's not in jail. Still no new 9/11 investigation. Okay? The JFK files were resealed. Okay? Where's all the FISA files? See what I'm saying? Look at the facts. Don't get involved in the hype. Look at the facts. Look at the facts. So, but, hey, here's good news, right? We got a bunch of new gun laws, right? No, it's not good news. I was saying that. But facetious, yeah, what Jen said. She's over there saying the English nerd in me just died. And let's see. Pakistan tests new homegrown smart weapon amid tensions with India. So there is that. All right, that covers what I have for the monologue. Kind of quick today, but that's all right. We'll get started in the video content for the day. So that again, that covers the monologue. If you're here for the live show, stick around. Sorry, I've kind of lost my mind. I kind of do that about every 5 seconds. If you're here for the live show, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be live till 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're here just to watch the monologue or the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you. We love you, and be one with your spirit.